we're facing some sort of connectivity issues right there. Now, what exactly is a digital arrest? It refers to a type of online scam where fraudsters impersonate law enforcement officials such as CBI, the police or the enforcement directorate via phone calls, video calls and falsely accuse victims of involvement in criminal activities to extort money. Now, as I was saying, as part of its digital arrest crackdown, the center has formed a multi-agency panel and the Supreme Court is set to hear this matter today. Now, in its status report which the government had presented to the Supreme Court, all right, my colleague Rumi Mishra joins us for more on this. Rumi.
Well, Medha, I have the proposed recommendations for 16th of December 2025 on behalf of Ms. Napinal and senior advocate or the amicus curiae. In terms of telecom department, the Department of Telecommunication was to undertake steps for identifying and blocking of spoofed India numbers from foreign locations, blocking of VoIP calls from non-registered service providers, blocking mule SIMs and re-verify SIM cards identified as non-bona fide users, according to the DOT circular which was dated 7th of December 2021. It was also recommended to hold TSPs liable for frauds and negligence by their point of sale agents, for imposing penalties on TSPs and POS for failing to adhere to its circulars, holding TSPs liable for compensation to victims from such penalties collected, informing consumer of total number of SIMs issued in their names to the primary number, that is the first number issued in their name, to Sanchar Sathi app alone, which would not suffice, that is, expects user to be vigilant instead of protecting them instead of misuse. Physical verification or multi-factor verification processes were also recommended through point of contact for issuance of corporate bulk SIMs, multi-factor authentications for issuance of duplicate SIMs, implementations of its circular dated 31st of August 2023 for TSPs to develop and deploy advanced IT tools to detect unusual or suspected activities of POS or customers. The TSPs, in fact, were recommended to deploy a dashboard to map real-time issuance of SIM per person from any point of sale to ensure not more than 9 SIM cards are issued to each person, and to comply with the maximum one SIM per day restriction from any point of sale. Be accountable for compliance with DOT circulars by point of sale vendors appointed by such TSP, develop and deploy advanced IT tools to detect unusual suspected activities for POS customers, block SIMs identified as suspicious activations or used for fraudulent purposes within 24 hours by following procedures set out by DOT, which were to seek permission from customers through first SIM issued before additional SIMs are issued in same name, inform customers every quarter through SMS to primary SIM the total number of SIMs issued in the name. So the SIM cards issued in the names of a particular person had to be told by the government, by the telecom ministry, and they had to be informed on how many SIM cards have been issued in their name in case any fraudulent SIM cards were issued. The ministry was also to extend assistance and ensure that its POS agents also extend assistance to law enforcement agencies in ongoing investigations into financial frauds. The MEITY was told to issue standard operating procedures or SOPs for grant of blocking orders to CBI or law enforcement agencies of SIMs identified as being used to commit cyber crimes. The RBI, in fact, was told to develop and deploy fraud detection tools to identify suspiciously excessive withdrawals in issuer customer account within a short span of time, and RBI was to provide timelines which should act as red flags for action. and also asked to provide procedures for regulated entities to follow when suspicious activity is identified in an account. Over to you, Medha.
All right, Advocate Jasmine Damkiwala, who is a Supreme Court advocate, joins me for more on this story. Ma'am, as part of its digital arrest crackdown, the centre has formed a multi-agency panel, and the Supreme Court is also set to hear this matter today. Your first reactions to this?
We essentially welcome this order of the Honorable Supreme Court. The Honorable Supreme Court has very proactively taken suo motu cognizance. Once, as we are aware, old lady wrote to Supreme Court, aged lady, saying that she was a victim of a cyber fraud. Cyber fraud is really catching up nowadays, and people are not able to basically deal with it because there's a lot of psychological manipulation in case of cyber arrest. So we welcome this decision of the Honorable Supreme Court, and they've transferred the matter to CBI, which is going to be a very efficient body to deal with this. So anyway, the new BNS is taking care of cyber crimes under Section 111, which was not there under the old IPC. But we see as new crimes and modes of manipulation are coming up. Similarly, solutions are also coming up. So we welcome this.
Additionally, ma'am, in your opinion, why did the Supreme Court feel the need to step in on its own in this very matter?
Essentially, the Supreme Court stepped in this matter because this is a very rampant issue right now. We see many, I think all of us have faced this, what is called phishing emails. All of us have received it at some point of time or the other, where we've received these threatening emails saying you are, we are calling you from this department, that department, you are under arrest, or you have to pay a fine or whatever. So these kind of emails are very common, or almost everybody has received them. Most of us choose to ignore it, but senior citizens, aged people, vulnerable groups, maybe teenagers, all of those, that section of the population has been affected, and especially when it was a new occurrence. Now we all know about it. When it was a new occurrence, it affected a lot of people who panicked. So the first reaction is panic. You receive emails, you receive calls as well. So the reaction is to panic, to quickly give your passcodes, your OTPs. So I think, and it was such a rampant thing that we see that the normal provision of law, the IPC and the civil codes and the criminal codes, sorry, not the civil codes, will take its own time, and these are individual cases which will be dealt with on evidence at its proper time. However, the whole aspect and the whole crime is so rampant right now, and it is affecting everybody. So it is better that it is, the one centralized agency like the CBI investigates into it instead of looking at individual cases which run through, its own course in courts. So that is the need of the hour. So at least some guidelines can be come up with, directions can be come up with, consolidated investigation takes place to control and curb this. So hence the Supreme Court has to step into this. It's a nationwide problem.
Advocate Jasmine Damkiwala, thank you so much for sharing your insights with us.